What's up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to continue our lake breakdown series of Lake Chickamauga. We're actually on our third video now. We've ended at the dam on the last video, and now what we're going to do is we're going to work our way down and see what we can find by pulling the water down as far as we can. Just see what kind of stuff there is to go fish out there. Once we get that done, then we're going to switch over. We're going to start looking at the navionics side of this thing and see what it has to offer. So, anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it tonight. Let's take a look at the final Google Earth video for Lake Chickamauga, the upper section. Let's go. Let's go ahead and jump back in here to Google Earth and let's take a look at Lake Chickamauga. Really, over here on the left-hand side, just to break it down for you if you missed the first couple of videos, we've got it broke down by three different sections. So I've got the upper section, which is basically going to be Highway 60 north, and that's going to go up this side of the river and then up the Tennessee River as well, all the way up to the dam. Then we've also got the midsection. The midsection is going to be from that Highway 60 all the way down to this very edge right here, right by this state park. Harrison Bay State Park is kind of where it ends. And then the south section, that's going to be everything south of this of the Harrison Bay State Park and south. So that kind of shows you how the sections are broke out. We're talking about the upper section tonight. We've actually done two videos on the upper section already. The first video, we actually came up here from the highway and took a right and went up the river there. And then now we're coming back. We're going to go up the Tennessee River. We actually did that on the second video. That took us all the way up here to the dam. And now what tonight we're going to do is we're going to start at the dam and hopefully we can work our way all the way back down to that bridge. So let's talk to you about real quick about how this thing is broke down. We've got it categorized by several different things over here on the left-hand side. First off, you've got cover. That's going to be your laydowns, man-made structure, hard spots, just all kinds of different things that we could find by pulling the water down. We've also got creeks, channels, and ditches. That's going to be all these tracks that you see. These are different creek channels that are coming in or different ditches that we were able to locate. We've also got grass beds. There's not as many grass beds on this northern side as there were on the southern side, but still some pretty good areas where you've got some pretty good grass beds. We've also got lots of different offshore hotspots to mark for you on this lake as well. But what we're going to do is we'll come back and a different video. I'm trying to get this all to pop up for you, but we'll come back in a whole different video and pull up Navionics boating app. And we're going to look at the contours and we're going to mark why and really explain to you why we pick those as being some very high percentage areas from an offshore spot. We've also got some old ponds that are out there. We talked about those last time. Lots of different ramps. So if you ever fished the boat ramp pattern, you've heard me talk about that. Lots of opportunities here. We've also got several different areas of key areas where we found some pretty good rock to fish around. Some of it's pretty shallow for the most part. Almost all of it is, but still going to be some good areas to get up and fish around. And then last but not least, we have the TVA brush piles that we were able to locate. We talked about these last time. We talked about these up here last time. So let's go ahead and just get started so I don't waste too much of the time on this video. Hopefully we can make it all the way through the end. I'm going to take off the offshore stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this side stuff so we can get a full picture here. And then I'm going to take the date back to 2022. Now, I've gone through this, obviously, and looked to see if I could find the lake any lower than what it is, or really the river any lower than that image I could get on 2022. And I really couldn't find anything that was much lower than that. So not like our Texas lakes where some of these things we can draw down 14, 15 feet. Didn't have that opportunity here, at least from the Google Earth standpoint. But as you can see, we were still able to find quite a bit of stuff. So let's go up here. Let's go on up here to the dam and let's start there and we'll work our way south. So first off, I wasn't sure because I've never actually fished Chickamauga. I've never fished the Tennessee River system. So I don't know how close you can get to these dams. I assumed if it was like Texas, we can't get very close to them at all. But apparently you guys can get really close to them because there's a boat that's back here that's like literally on the dam. So thought that was somewhat interesting, but wanted to point out here from a breakdown standpoint, you got all this riprap all through here, right? You got some current that's coming through there too. So that's going to be some pretty good shallow rock to be able to fish. It's all going to depend on the current as well. Obviously, if the current's too strong, it's going to be tough to fish it. But But definitely, I think that could be some pretty good spots for you. Regardless, it's rocks. You want to fish around there. You've also got these little man-made structure things that you could fish around, as well as these little tie-ups and things like that. You've got a little bit more rock here. This is really just all just rock. I mean, you basically could fish from the dam all the way down to here and be in some pretty decent little rock, shallow diving crankbait type stuff like that up to fish around. And then really when you come down here, there's also a couple ramps too you could look at. So you've got an old ramp that's right here, and you've also got another old ramp that's right here too. And those are really good spots for fish to collect up on. Now, I don't know if you can fish around those or not. Looks like it might be buoyed up here or whatever this is. I don't know what this stuff is, if you can fish around it, but if you can, definitely fish around that stuff as well. All right, so let's keep moving. More rock, more rock. Then we're going to move down. We're going to go around the bend. We're going to get over here on the other side of the power plant. This just looks like a really good spot. I'm sure it is. But you've got some really good rock up here, and then you've got some really good rock around this point. The thing that's interesting about the southern point here, though, is that rock is not really on the point. It's more just off the side of the point. So just remember that when you're fishing there. If you're fishing that point, you're like, man, I really can't feel that rock. Just scoot over a little bit, and that's where your rock is going to be right there. Now, moving on down, we've got some man-made structure stuff as well. I have no idea what this is. It almost looks like an old boat, but it's hard to tell. I don't know what it is. We call it a man-made structure. Not sure what it is, but debris structure, whatever you want to call it. We've also got a pretty decent little lay down that's over here too. Looks like a complete tree. Hopefully that's still there. This image is from 2022. Then we're going to keep going down. We've got a little creek that comes through here. So just kind of marking that little creek channel for you. Those are always good places to fish. Of course, there would be a boat right there around the entrance, but the entrances of these creeks can always be really, really good. Not always, but can have the potential to be really, really good. So definitely check out those areas when you see anything like that. We're going to keep coming down. We've got another lay down that's right there that we pointed out for you. And then it's going to be a little bit. We're going to get around this big, huge bend before really we can find anything to point out for you. And the main thing here is really just this point. This point off this bend just looks gorgeous. It's got some rock right off the side of it. But I mean, look, you got the big river swinging over here against this bank line. And then you've even got that little curl that comes in. I mean, this area right in here and also this backside right in here, those can be really good areas to fish. So you want to look at that for sure. Then let's move down. We already talked about the other side, so we're just going to stay on this side. We've got some more laydowns to check out. Nothing too crazy. It's kind of hard to see it. I might have to move that back for you guys to be able to see it perfect. So let's just keep moving. Little ditch right here you could check out. Didn't mark it, but you can see it's got a little bitty ditch, so maybe they'd be attracted to that area. Always good little places for them to stop at. And then as we move up, we've just got some random areas of some rocks. And we get right in this area, basically starts right here where this icon is. And it appears to go pretty much all the way down this bank line right here. But it's this really shallow riprap. You've even got maybe just some debris and stuff, some laydowns and things to fish around, but a little bit of rock in that area. You've also got some more laydowns coming up here. Pretty good little pile of them right there. If I zoom in, you can see them. It's pretty big there. And then we're going to come down. We've got another little creek, pretty cool looking little creek. It actually splits off right there in the middle. So you'd have some opportunities to get probably pretty far back up in there, but definitely fishing around like that lay down right there. That's really good. This is a really good spot as well, like where that lay down is, but mainly just the mouth of that creek. The mouth of that creek is going to be really important to fish around that. Got more lay downs coming down this bank line. Little bit of rock. I mean, we're talking shallow now. This is when we get into that shallower rock. You got it right here, and it really runs all the way down to that other rock icon. Actually, even farther, even down here. So I'm not sure how much that's going to be in play, if the water even gets up high enough to even, make that come into play. But I'm sure obviously it gets up that high every once in a while. But anyways, just not sure if it's going to be good when the water is just kind of at normal depth. Now, one thing that I do like here is if you look here, we've got a ramp right here. We've also got a ramp right here, which is kind of weird because typically, and it's hard to say because it's the Tennessee River, so I doubt it. But is there potential here that this could have been an old roadbed or something like that? And it may be. We may look on Navionics and realize, yeah, there's an old bridge or something down here. But the fact that these two look like they could actually connect together would make me think that I'd want to fish in this area and just see if there's any kind of debris over in here, any kind of debris over in here that might come into play. Now, obviously, you got the rock around the bridges, the pillars around the bridges. It's a river system, so you got current. I mean, it's just the bridges are going to be money places to fish around. Now, we can get up in this little area here. It gets pretty shallow, but we got some interesting stuff back here. We're probably going to talk about this stuff as offshore, but you got some laydowns here. You even got another laydown there we missed right off the edge of that point. But if you follow this little river back or this little creek back, got some more laydowns back in here. Pretty good little channel with some extra stuff to fish around. And then you get up in here, you get just past, there's a ramp right here you could fish around, but get just past here, and you got some pretty decent rock and stuff like that, and a really good creek channel swing that runs right against that point right there. So that could be really good. If we move that up to 10 of 2022, you can see there's a little bit more water back in there now, but that may be too shallow to go back in there and fish. I don't know. This is back in 2018. It looks like it could be fishable for sure. So might be worth going back there and just checking out. Let's move this back to where we had it. Actually took me back to 2019. So can't ever tell on these dates. Just a minute ago, I was at 2022 and have the same image. So we move on down here. Got some pretty good little rock piles right here. One's right there, and one is right there as well. So that's going to be just south of where that main creek was right there. We're coming on down. We're going around the bend again. Just pointing out some laydowns right there. Nothing too crazy. Coming down here, this creek looks pretty decent. So you can see the creek kind of running through the little low area there, but here's the opening to it. It's right in here. So just fishing around those little openings where that fresh water is coming in. And it's just good places for them. There's another one right there too. Just good places for them to set up and ambush stuff is right on those little corners. You've also got a good little boat ramp right here. Cottonport boat ramp. That one doesn't look like it's used too much, but definitely looks like a boat ramp I would fish. And then as we move up in here, we kind of get back in here in this little, I don't know if you call it a creek or whatever. I guess it's a creek. As you go back in here to this little arm, just got some stuff to look at, some laydowns back here, another decent looking boat ramp right there. But the boat ramp actually doesn't look like it's used too much because there's a lot of growth around the boat ramp as well, but good looking ramp. Also got another ramp over here and an isolated dock. Man, you don't see docks on this lake very often at all. So fish that dock right there. It's got the boat ramp. It's also got the dock, and that is just going to be really good. I wonder how they got away with getting a dock. So let's go ahead and move back. Let's come down here. Now, this is when we get into the grass beds. And right now, you can't really tell in this image that there's grass beds back to me. You can kind of tell just by looking at that. The green kind of gives it away. But you'll be able to see when I move the image up, you're really going to be able to tell if there's a lot of grass in this area. But these openings too, right around these points, right around in here, those can be good too. This little curve that comes in right here, fishing in those areas, fishing around that point, all kinds of good stuff. This is actually a really good looking area right in here, if you ask me. But let's go ahead and move it up to 2022. Now we're going to go up to 10 2022. Now you can really see the grass. So you can tell you've got some pretty good grass beds back here. And then moving back here, we got to lay down another ramp and a little bit of stuff a little bit farther back in here. Again, this stuff's got some interesting stuff. Fishing around this little point, maybe fishing around a little hump that's out there too. You got some docks that are back here, which again, you don't get to see docks very often. So definitely fish around the docks. That laydown's massive. It's like a big tree they put there. And then getting back in here, you just got more creeks just coming in. So you got some pretty good flow that's coming into this back here. And I don't know what this is or if that's even real, but that's very interesting. Let's move that up. 2022 is gone. 19, it's there. 18, can't see it. I'm not going to mark that because I don't see it there, but man, that's interesting. You guys that live out on Chickamauga, you need to go check that out and see what that is. That may be underneath the water now, but go back there and see what it is. It's going right in here, right off this bend, just coming back in here, going back into that flat, and it's back here. I don't know what that is, but that looks like something fun to even just see on LiveScope. Even if there's no fish on it, it'd be fun to go back there and scan it. All right, let's keep going. We're going to move on down. We've got some more laydowns right here to check out. Then we're going to come in here. We've got more grass beds. We got a little bit of rock that's back here too, right off the edge of this point. So this looks like it could be frog heaven back in here. Sneak back in here, do a little frogging, fish around the point there where the rock is as well. I mean, that could be good times. So I'm going to scoot back just a little bit and show you guys where I'm at. So remember, we were up there. That was that Cottonport wildlife management area. That's that Cottonport boat ramp. So we're just south of that Cottonport boat ramp now, and we're moving our way down here. So this little pocket here, nice little channel going through there with that rock we talked about. Another good little creek channel coming through here as well. You got some backwaters back in here. You could go around and fish around. You've also got grass beds back in here. This looks good. Structure. Not sure why I put structure there. That's probably just some kind of debris. I can't tell what it is in this image, but apparently there was something there that I noticed, so I would definitely go look at that. Got some laydowns back here, some brush that's over here off the top of this. Lots of brush and stuff like that all around here. Lots of laydowns. Juicy looking spot back there for sure. You've also got some rock that's way back here. If you can get back here, it's not just totally choked out, but you got some more rock that's over in here and then a little bit more right in there. So it could be an interesting spot to go explore. Definitely get you out of the main stuff and get you kind of back in the back stuff. But all grass beds through here. You got a little bit more of that structure that's here. I think those are just like little concrete things or something. I'm not sure why I called them structure. I can't remember, but go look at those. Got laydowns there. Moving on around the bend here, we got a little pond that's back here with a little channel that comes out. Man, just so much cover and stuff to fish around. You got more brush in here. A little bit of a rocky area here. You finally get into some rocks right in here. Marked it for you. There may be a little bit more in there, but it's hard to tell. But definitely right in here seems to be where the main concentration of them is. Then let's move up. We're going to go back up here around the little turn here. See what else we can find up here. A little bit more debris or some kind of man-made structure that's right here. That one you can see pretty clearly. Got another creek coming back through here. We get back in here. Here's the main kind of ditch that comes through here, right? So you got a pretty good little ditch here. You can fish around the areas here, and this is a pretty good pinch point. You even got some laydowns right here on the edge. But as you maneuver your way back in here, one, you've got all kinds of grass and stuff. You got brush, all kinds of brush, some man-made structure type stuff, pipes, and just junk that's over there. You've also got, as you come over here, you've got boat ramps. You got more rock behind these boat ramps. You got boat docks to fish. You got the TVA brush pile, more ramps. Here you can see all these ramps. We've got good little riprap. If it gets high enough, you get up here and fish shallow on those ripraps. You can frog back in here. You got creek channels. This whole area looks good. TVA brush pile again. More rock off the edge of both sides of this island so that the water can get up high enough. Then that rock is going to definitely come into play. And then as we move over here, let's just look at the back of this thing. This thing's got all kinds of good stuff to it. I'd imagine this is probably places where you guys like to hang out because it just looks good. These two little sections here. But again, just went over all that. We got the docks that are there, the rock. There's rock up behind these docks as well. You can see we pretty much got it all marked for you here. As we move further up in here, really we're just going to kind of see the same thing, just random areas where we got some rock. You got some here as well. Really, I should probably put another one here because that from right here, basically start fishing here, fish all of this, fish up here too, then go out, fish the dock too, then come back and fish to there. I mean, that spot right there around the top of that brown dock, I think is going to be a really good spot for you guys to go take a look at. And I've actually got the mark for rock right here, but really, honestly, I think it should be more right here to just say, hey, fish that whole entire bank line. All right, let's keep moving up. We've got 4 ramps back in there, really 5 ramps. They're all right there. You can see them all. And then we've got this little creek channel coming down here. Now, this dock is actually in the middle of a pond. So fishing that dock too, fishing this dock back here on the edge of this little creek channel there, that could be good. You got main creek channels coming over here. And then as we get up here by Fraser Park, so that'd be a good place to launch at. You can come up here and fish around this bridge. You got all kinds of good rock around the bridge, a couple more boat ramps. Got some major brush piles going on around this dock. Look at the brush piles all around it. All kinds of junk around it. So definitely a good spot to go look at. That spot seems to be a very high percentage area for you guys to be able to locate some fish for sure. So let's spin out of there. We already talked about that little pocket that was in there. Let's go up here and talk about this. We got another TVA brush pile. We've got some more man-made junk going on here. Not sure what we saw there and what image, but I don't see anything there right now. But We'll come back and see if we can find it later. Let's keep moving up. We got more TVA brush piles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different brush piles just in this area. So another very high percentage area to come back to. You've got rock back here. It's very similar to what we saw before. We got this rock, we got ramps, more shallow rock here. Ramps got big old laydown that's there too. More rock, more ramps, more creeks, more rock up here too. You can just see it all this good little riprap all around this area. These docks, of course, are going to be fun docks to fish. You got laydowns back in here, a little bit more rock. And then as you move further into this pocket, you got 3 more TVA brush piles and more rock like around this area. This bank line could be good too because it looks like a major creek channel swing kind of coming through here. So that bank line could be good at certain times of the year. You got all that rock there, more up there. As we come up here, you got a couple ditches that are coming through here. I mean, we're getting way up here, but you can get pretty far up here. You got another ramp that's up here. Not sure what this is or if the water even gets up that high, but you've got some kind of man-made debris there and then just a lot of rock that's all through here. But again, the water's got to get up pretty high for that to come in play. Even in 2022, you can see it here. There's something out there in the water that you could fish around, some kind of structure, and that must be why we marked it. But this looks pretty thick, pretty matted back up in here. Let's keep going down, see what else we find in here. We've got the boat ramp right here. And then if we draw this back, we're actually going to see those creek channels. If I can get it back to being the right thing. So we'll actually see those creek channels coming through there. And you can see that we've got those marked for you as well. All right, so let's keep moving down. Let's move over here. Let's talk about this real quick. This little laydown is right there, just so you guys can see it. Pretty good brush, but again, pretty choked out in that area. So it could get interesting to see if you can get up there and fish that or not. Let's move on down. Let's go to this next little pocket. Now we came right off the top of that bend. So I think we're going to make it. It took us a little bit longer video, but we're going to make it. So we're going to move up here. Let's take a look at this, this rock that's right in here, right off the edge of that point. So it's really going to be on that seawall. So really just fishing that seawall by the Lakeside Retreat Catfish House. That seawall's got some pretty good rock on it. You may even have some additional stuff that's out here, like whatever that is. No idea what that is. You got some couple little laydowns and stuff through here. Pretty decent little point. More docks. Docks are always good to fish. Those are always fun. Ramps. Got a little pond that's back there. You can see not much of a pond, but a little bit of one. That may actually be just where they dug it out. It just looks like a pond. And then check out these laydowns that are back here. Now, of course, Google Earth has a little bit of image or not image challenge when everything's really steep. So I imagine this is like a steeper terrain, so a lot steeper bank line. And that's why it looks so weird, but just some really good laydowns back there. So let's draw the water up. Of course, that's not even a good image at all. 2020, those aren't even into play, but maybe parts of them come into play. I'm not sure. The water's actually pretty low there. Here it's up a little bit and they look like they are into play. Kind of hard to tell based on the images that we're getting here, but something to go check out for sure. So I'm going to take that back to 2019 again. We're going to keep going. We talked about that ramp. We got the rock that's outside of this point. This point's going to be a really good point. Then, of course, another laydown. Whoa, I'm going too fast here. We got a little ditch that comes out here. So interesting little pinch area. Of course, you get back here in the backwaters. You've also got some rock that's over here too, right off this point. Again, the water's got to come up quite a bit for some of this stuff to come into play. And unfortunately, we just couldn't draw it down far enough to see everything. But as we come through here, maybe checking out some of these areas, and just seeing if there's anything relating to the top of them, especially when the water gets up. You can tell this little boat back here is just fishing all this grass and stuff they see over here. Got some pretty good rock in here, some more rock in there as well. You've got boat ramps back here. Another decent little creek channel. And if you look at that creek channel, it goes right underneath this dock right here. That dock might be a good little dock to go check out. And this dock too, because it ends right at that dock. Got more rock over there. You can see it. It's just scattered, but look at this rock right here. That looks pretty good. So you might have some hard spots right in that area. Let's keep moving down. We talked about the rock that was here, I believe. Yeah, we already talked about that rock. That rock kind of extends, you know what I'm trying to say, extends all the way down this bank line. Really, it starts right there And really you could kind of work down that bank line until I believe you get to about right here is when the rock stops. And you've got some other things you could fish around there. You've got some docks you could fish around, some ramps, more docks, just a lot of rock right in that area. Then as we move up here, we got another little bay that we can cut into. As we get over here, not much over here. Didn't see anything to mark. Just kind of mark the channel for you. We have a little lay down there you can work, but nothing too crazy. Then we move down here. We come in again. We got some more rock right here off this little point that's right here. And then as you move down, you've got this riprap that's down here too. So you could check out that. You got that on both sides. And then we're going to move down here. This is the Bliss Ferry public boat ramp. I don't know if I said that right, but as you look here on this ramp, you got some pretty good rock all around it. So it surprised me that ramp comes out that far, because it seems like if the water comes up too high, that ramp would almost be underwater, but it looks like it holds itself up pretty good. But you definitely got some rock in here, maybe fishing in here too. All this stuff looks good. I don't know what that is. We missed that before. I don't know what that is. Almost looks like a duck blind that's out there, but not sure what that is. Let's keep moving on. So we're almost done. We've got some more rock over here off of this point. I'll draw this back to 2019 so you guys can see it a little bit better, but there's some pretty good rock. But they're pretty good laydown over there too. Over here, got a couple good laydowns right there. And then we're pretty much at the end at the bridge, and that's where we got some really big laydowns here. And finally, a brush pile that's actually out a little bit into the water. You can see it right there. You can see the very top of it. So guys, I hope that that you're enjoying the videos. That covers us for the Chickamauga up side. So basically the northern side of Chickamauga, that covers us. We'll now start working on the midsection and then work our way down south. If you guys haven't had a chance yet, please go out and check out our website, simplisticfishing.com. I've got all of these waypoints plus the offshore stuff. Made it to where you can either get it as a digital file, or I can put it on an SD card for you and you can plug it in your graph, and you'll have all of these waypoints on your graph for you when you're fishing the lake. It will change the way you fish. I promise you, it will make patterning fish so much easier. So go check it out, simplisticfishing.com. And while you're out there, check out our sponsor as well, omniafishing.com. The link is in the description. Until next time, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.